Warning, the following episode contains spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2. Please proceed with caution. As a reminder, Around the Campfire is intended for a mature audience. However, members of the Cameo Gang are not fit for human consumption.
Howdy doody guys, and welcome to another brand new episode of Around the Campfire. I'm Nicola, and we're also joined by Jackie and Catherine. So how are you ladies
Yay!
doing?
I am awake.
That's actually our first Ask Me Anything question. It's Ask Me Anything Thursday.
Yay! Yay. Meanwhile, everyone that's listening is going, who is this deep-voiced freak? That's me.
Batman?
Hey, how's it going? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you
Hey.
doing?
That's another food.
Everything's good. Just got over here chilling with my koala. Koala. Sorry. You gotta love when the inside jokes become outside jokes, but it's still inside jokes.
I think that might be part of our charm.
We have charm.
I think I'm pretty charming. Sort of. Maybe. I don't know.
About as charming as a bone spur, but...
Bone spurs can be charming.
Don't die.
I can see the headline now. Deep-voiced freak on Around the Campfire dies while recording. Good luck getting that recording.
Think of the views. That was morbid. I do apologize.
Wow. Now I see exactly how important I am.
Friendship revoked.
Oh, goodness. Well, welcome everyone to Around the Campfire. This is our 6th episode. Last week it was supposed to air on Thursday, but we are recording it today because this week is a new week and it's given us some time, just a little bit of a break. So we're doing our Ask Me Anything. So we're reading your questions and we're answering them, which is exciting because we got all of these last week and the week before, and we're like, wow, so many questions. We were expecting maybe like 2 or 3, and most of them are just like, why do you? Why do you? Why are you the way you are? And we're just like, I don't know. And then our episode ends. It's like 5 minutes. That was it.
You're welcome. Ask us anything. Why are you the way that you are? Well, it all started when I was born. The end.
So we got a bunch of questions that we're going to answer. Some of these are 2-parters. Some of them are just one. And before we do that, we just want to say awesome, amazing work for sharing and spreading the news and the word for Mick and Aoife's. I said it right. Yeah.
Yay!
For Mick and for Aoife Williams's work, we are so excited. I saw it on Saturday that it was fully funded, completely and totally fully funded, with some. It was like over $1,000 more. And I was like, that is awesome, because now that means that, we get to watch it and we get to see it, and I'm really excited to watch it. I'm so happy that it got funded.
Story gets to be told.
Exactly, and that was a story that needed to be told, and I'm genuinely so excited, and it's like we did that, and all of us together, we did that.
Yep, we spread all of the news and the word, and you guys put it out. I don't know if you're just like these weird people over on Around the Campfire are like, yo, look at this. They're like, it sounds great, I guess.
I'm weird, so
We're just really happy that you guys dealt with us while we were like, well, go, do it, fund it.
Do the thing.
Fly, my pretties, fly.
Fund it, in the background. And something else that I'd like to say to Cornell for just dude, lady, them, I don't know. You, Cornell, has been doing like amazing like little things for us. They made a trailer for Ask Me Anything that we were gonna do last week, and they like did like pictures and stuff like that with our faces and like animals and everything, and it was so great. We shared it. We're probably gonna share it again. We
You
have
know,
fan art, and I'm so awesome.
you
It's like
know sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I wanted to bring it up, but I hadn't had a chance yet. Um, like I don't know about you guys. I can only speak for myself when I say this, but it's like sometimes it gets almost discouraging, like watching numbers and things like that, and then it's like you get to a point where it's like, what even is the point? Like, you know, but then like you sign on Twitter and you see that, and it's just like, that's the point. That's
Hmm.
why we're doing this. Like, it's not the quantity of an audience. Like, the numbers really don't matter. Like, we're doing this for fun, and people are enjoying it to the point of giving us fan art. Like, that's awesome.
Sorry, my mic fell out the way. But yes, it is awesome.
Whoops.
Another blooper. How about that?
But this one is on. Maybe are you gonna cut it out? She's gonna.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really amazing. Just what they've been doing. I still don't know if but it's just really awesome. Like to log in and to see it, and they're just so excited just to share it, and then everything else that they do in terms of their own fan art creations and things like that is just really awesome and really cool.
Yeah, and then like what's really cool is because we all have access to the Around the Campfire um, Twitter, is one of us will jump on and post something, and we go, ah, yes, that's big Catherine energy. And then next thing you know, all of our phones are just blowing up with notifications. It's like, out of context, retweeted this. Usman liked this. Usman retweeted this. And it's like, well, of course he did, because Usman is MVP.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's an MVP after Cornell and Mick.
And hey, don't like we can't forget Hannah. See you out
Hmm.
there, Hannah. And then we also got the Janie. The
Yeah,
Janie is awesome. She's one of our big supporters over on Facebook. So shout out to Janie. We see you, even though I'm still mad at you because you wrecked my dad's truck, and I haven't forgotten that, and I won't forget it until the day that I die.
yes. But there's something else that I do want to say is thank you everybody for being understanding and being so kind and so sweet. When we took a break last week and the reason for why we took a break. I feel bad because I was like, I know you guys are all excited, but then this happened, but then I was just like, I shouldn't feel bad because this is 100% unexpected. But yeah, I just want to say thank you. You guys are amazing, and while I took a break, I did see all the things that you guys have posted on my statuses, and I just want to say thank you to everybody um, for just being so nice. Like you don't really know us all that well, especially know me all that well, but like just to have so much outpouring of support and just love to have that is really it's really inspiring because it's been a crappy week, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. It's been a crappy week and a few days. But you guys have every time that I log on and I see something from you, everybody is just, it brightens my day. So thank you so much. And I'm glad to be back on the episode, despite me urging Nicola and Jackie to just do it. They're like, no, we're not going to imitate you because we can't, honestly.
I tried. I tried. No, yeah, she was like, yeah, just go ahead, and everything will be fine. And it's like Tuesday came because we usually record on Tuesdays. Tuesday came, and I got stuck in this weird anxiety loop. So I was like, can we just record on Wednesday instead? And Nicola's like, yeah, sure. So then Wednesday comes along, and it's like, so are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to do this with us? Are you sure? She's like, yeah, go ahead and go. And then I messaged Nicola and I was like, I don't feel right doing this without her. And she's like, yeah, me either. And I'm like, cool. So we're in agreement.
Yes, I was still in my sort of grieving period, and in a way I still am, but it's less. So, it's one of those things. I'm just taking it day by day and just trying to deal with stuff, and as it comes, because you know, it's just.
Yeah,
It's
from
okay.
personal experience, it's a process you can't really anticipate and you can't rush it. It
No.
just it's its own creature, and it comes in many forms and it comes in different. You know, yeah, it's an awkward thing to go through, and just if you've been confronted with it, then essentially you know what I'm talking about. But it's its own error mystery. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, and it's
If
like
that
in
makes
the
sense.
yeah, that makes sense. In the article that I wrote for the gamers, which for those of you that didn't know, I wrote an article for the gamers. I actually talked about grief in video games specifically. Um, and that's one of the things that I mentioned is a lot of people think that funerals and visitations and all of that is the time to grieve, but honestly, those tend to happen so quickly that you don't even know what exactly it is you're grieving yet. Like you don't know what it is you miss about a person until like months, even years later, and it'll hit you like all of a sudden, just like perfect example. The other day I was talking to somebody and I found out that they liked racing. They used to race along some people from NASCAR,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh man, I need to call and ask Dave. And then I had to stop myself. Like it's little things like that that'll just catch you all of a sudden, and it's like grief is its own entity, and you can't predict it, you can't rush it, you can't make it do anything. It's just gonna happen.
Mm.
Yeah. So that being said, I'm really glad to be back. I am here and also not here mentally because I am just. So it's been a rough few months, really,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, if I'm being honest. So actually, we just answered Cronell's question, which was the first one, which was how are we doing today? Um, okay, that's how I'm doing. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I haven't been awake long enough to be able to fully 100% answer that one, but I think I'm okay.
Nicola, how are you?
Pretty much the same. Just same old with me. So
Yeah. So I guess, Cornell, to answer your question, we're all doing okay. Between they're good and okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there. Our second question, to jump back into our ask me anything before we spiral down into a rabbit hole, is from Uzman, who asked us, what was your favorite missions um in RDR2, and what did you name your horse? That's a two-part question. So let's answer the first part.
And I'm
So,
so excited about this one because I can finally tell my stupid horse story.
Yes. So, Nicola, what was your favorite mission in RDR2?
Ooh, I have quite a few. It's hard to pinpoint one. You've got like the obvious ones like Battle of Braithwaite Manor. Obviously Quiet Time. How could you not love that one?
Right.
But I want to give a little special mention to kind of like the little side missions,
Yeah.
because I think my personal favorite out of the side missions is the veteran. I just love like the interactions with Hamish and Buell, and also the side missions with Albert Mason, because again, it's just like this really wholesome little mission that's
Mm-hmm.
it's got such a different tone as compared to like the rest of the story, which in the later half of the game gets really sad and quite dark.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And another side mission I would have to give a special mention to, because it gave us that really, in my opinion, the best scene in the game. However, you can miss it if you don't do this side mission, and that's the quest with Sister Calderon.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't complete that side mission, you don't get that one specific scene where Arthur meets her again for the last time at the train station at Emerald Station. And just big shout out to the performances. I mean, Roger's performance, I think that's what sold him the award for best performance at the Game Awards,
Mm-hmm.
because ouch, that hurt.
Yeah.
That whole scene hurt. That was like a cannonball to the gut. And it made me think, it's like, right, okay, this game's definitely going to make me cry. Obviously, the other one about horses. I've had a few horses, quite a few. One I've got an online is called Philippa, or Phil, as I call her. But my first horse was the horse you get at the Adler Ranch at the beginning, and he was a lovely boy, Hank. My boy Hank. I will never forget Hank. Hank was the first horse, and I just can't look at that horse in the same mind without getting sad. And in my second save, I've got an Appaloosa. I actually nicked it from one of the poachers for that mission you do with Charles, with the bison hunters. I clocked the Appaloosa and I thought, I want that horse. That's a nice looking horse. And she was originally called Dahlia, which means from the valley, I think it is. But then, I changed the name because the name didn't really stick. And she is now called Rhiannon, which means Great Queen, I think, in Welsh. Obviously a little hark to, in my opinion, Arthur's Welsh heritage. And it's a cool name. It's a badass name. And in my third save, I've got a Wild Bay Mustang, which, if anybody follows me on social media, will know is called Sundance. Now, that horse, he's spirited. He's still got that wild spirit, and he's a good horse. I'm saying it like he's a real bloody horse, but But
I think one thing that we can all agree on is Red Dead taught us just how much horse girl energy we've got.
He made me lose a race, Sundance.
Oh my goodness.
He made me lose a race. I can't remember what I was doing. I was running about O'Crea's Run, I think.
You can't
And
a horse.
You-
for losing a race.
the guy come up saying, "Hey, that's a fine horse. How about a race?" And I was thinking, yeah, okay. I haven't got anything particular to do, and I was so close near the finishing line, and then Sundance, in his infinite wisdom, decided to vault over a cliff, sending Arthur flying, and the wolf pelt that I had on Sundance's back flying as well. So yeah, I've never really quite forgiven Sundance for that, but yeah, he's a good horse. He can tangle with a bear, so to speak. He stood against a grizzly bear, only to then, kick me off after he got spit by a snake, which is weird. thinking, really? But yeah, he's a good boy. But Hank was my boy.
My boy.
My poor boy Hank. My, somebody was laughing at me because I I would nickname Hank. I mean, there's not that much you can nickname Hank, but I would shorten it to Hanky,
Hmm.
which sounds funny. It's like, come on, Hanky, come on, Hanky, no. But my God, I'm rambling. Okay, somebody else take over.
No, I was waiting for you to tell the part of like when, the moment happens in chapter 6 and you like just this really sad voice of my hanky.
That's exactly how it went. Were you there?
That's why I was laughing because when you told me that, because we've had this conversation amongst each other, and when you told me that, like when we first met, like that still makes me laugh. Just the sound of anguish of my hanky.
I can remember going into work the next day, and a colleague of mine at the time said, "So did you finish your game?" "Yes." "So how did it go?" "Arthur died." "Oh,
Spoiler.
sorry, spoiler." I was like, "Oh, he died. He died. Spoilers." "Yeah, he died." Oh, so how did you take it? "Badly. They
Shut up.
killed my
You love-
they killed my horse Mel. They killed him. They killed my hanky."
Oh.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Should have said a spoiler warning.
I may go back and put that in an editing. Don't worry.
It's gonna be Jackie going, spoiler!
Okay, somebody else take over.
Okay, Catherine, what is your favorite mission?
Oh God, I do have to agree that Albert Mason's missions are really great. I got to the last one where you well, I wouldn't say it's the last one, but the last one in New Hanover, where you take a picture of the wild horses running across like the little pond, the overflow pond over there. So when I got to that mission, when I got to that part, it had just stopped raining, and so the sun was coming out, but it was also setting at the same time. So when I got this really like picturesque sort of photo of like sun setting on sparkling water with like brightly coated colored horses because the rain wet their fur, so they were like glowing essentially in the sunlight. And I was just like, this game is for me. um so Albert Mason, oh God, anything with Charles Chattenay,
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my God, yeah.
my boy, Mr. Absurd Artist, Mr.
He is a old ass.
Mr.
Mr.
Bashitan Zabah.
You shat on their bar?
That Buddha said we're all here to fuck.
Mr. Mr. Buddha says we're all here to fuck. He was the best missions, the best set of missions that I just absolutely love doing them, because they're just so ridiculous, just amazingly ridiculous. And I'm just like, there's this true artist he just did not care. And I was just like, I don't want to be like Charles Chattenay. I don't want to be like him, but I do want his like chaotic energy.
To jump in, I completely forgot the gunslingers mission where you have to go and speak to all the gunslingers. Then like what was the other one? God, my mind is not here today, guys. I do apologize.
It's okay.
But
Rob Weedo
Marco
has the brain
Dragic.
cell today.
That was Marco Dragic. That was it. Because it has one of the best lines that just makes me laugh because it's funny and adorable. It's, "Oh, it's a towboat."
Um,
Boy, big nuts.
yes, that one as well. Just like they're just so ridiculous, you know? Like I absolutely just love all of the missions in there in like Red Dead Redemption 2. They're all just like hit it out of the park. Especially with like the side missions or the companion missions, except for the ones with Micah. I accidentally shot him in the back of the head when we were
Accidentally. Yeah.
stopped at a stagecoach. Accidentally, allegedly, but
For legal reasons.
for reasons. But yeah, just all of the missions are really good. I can't really pin down too much. I loved helping the doctor in Rhodes get his stagecoach back,
Mhm.
his doctor's wagon back. I like taking pictures of Albert Mason, going with Charles or going with Lenny anywhere. Um, just going bear hunting with Hosea. Just there's too many for me to pin down. Um,
Burning down the tobacco fields was fun as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, for horses on my first playthrough, I only had two horses. Um, I had a kind of tannish, sand-colored Morgan that I named Whole Horse, and I had the Black Shire, and I think I had named him Jonathan. I had ended up keeping the Black Shire. Even though like Hosea was just like he's mean, I was just like I like him because I like Shires, so I kept him, and he wasn't very mean to me. And then yeah, I had the Morgan, and on this playthrough I have more horses. I have four horses, an Appaloosa, a Missouri Fox Trotter, um, a Tennessee Walker, and I'm trying to remember the last one. Uh, Nakota and the Nakota. Yeah, and they're Rhea, Helena, Penelope, and Marcel. Marcel's the Tennessee Walker. And now Jackie gets to tell her horse story.
Okay, so as far as favorite missions go, like everybody else, I can't pin down what my favorite one is. So I'm going to have to go by like different things that I liked about it. Cinematically, the Braithwaite Manor is probably my favorite because like just the coloring, the lighting, the audio of that, and then of course the best line ever delivered unironically was, John, I need you to stay calm. Get down here now, you inbred trash. And that makes me laugh literally every time. Because it's like, okay.
I love Hosea's line. It's like the manor's building down. The manor's building down? Burning down, I mean. Building down. Oh, I can't speak today. Apologies. Yeah, the manor's burning down around them, and you just hear Hosea go, I guess that's the end of the goddamn cribbage game.
But yeah,
I love that.
it's like we gotta have big calm energy, and then Dutch is like, no, I am not big calm energy.
Like there's all this chaos, and then there's Hosea.
Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, so cinematically and for that line, that one's one of my favorite. As far as like just weirdly wholesome and pure, my favorite one is the train robbery when you're with Sean and John and Charles, and just the moment when they go, oh, not the Da story. just hearing John in the background, oh, not the Da.
Charles been like, why do you have to talk so much? It's incessant.
Just that whole little dialogue, because I think that's one of the moments where you kind of really see like what it's like in the Vanderlyn gang, because it's such a pure moment where it's just them, and like this is an interaction that you could only get from like years and years and years of doing really bad shit together, and then audio-wise is the scene where you are about to attack the oil field with all the natives.
Oh, yeah.
And like the cutscene starts and you're running down the hill and the tribal drums pick up, and it's like the first time that happened, I got full body head to toe chill bumps. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a magical moment.
It's like letting out your own war cry when that happens.
Yeah, like kudos to the sound department, because holy crap, that was amazing. Like the whole like they did a really good job with like their musical cues, and like just the whole thing was very, very well done. But that scene in particular is probably one of my favorites. But I think one of my favorite scenes overall is the scene where you get back from Guarma, you have attacked the Pinkertons have attacked, and you walk to the back of the shack in Lakay, and there's Dutch sitting there doing like saying chess moves out loud. Because to me, it's like that whole scene, like his whole dialogue, and especially the whole "you sound like Hosea," I miss him. And it's like that was such a gut wrenching, oh ow, right in the feels moment. And on top of that, the chess move that he's saying out loud is called the Dutch defense. And I'm like, there is a chess nerd somewhere that was like, my time has come. Now as far as the horse goes, and when I say it's a stupid horse story, I mean it is a stupid horse story. So I kept the Blackshire,
Mm-hmm.
and I named it Lucifer because it's this big black, just pure black. And I went and I gave it like red hair, so this thing looked beastly, right? So I named him Lucifer, and I lost him on accident. I was right outside Valentine. On under one of the bridges is one of the serial killer's bodies. It kept pinging on my map, so I'm trying to figure out what it is, and I accidentally left Lucifer on the train track.
God.
So Lucifer died. So then I went and found another big black horse, and that became Lucifer 2.0. Lucifer 2.0 met his demise, I think, also by a train, and I can't remember now exactly what happened. So he died. Lucifer 3.0.
Jackie.
I'm not done. Lucifer 3.0 died because the police in Saint Denis are no joke, and I accidentally, looked at one of them the wrong way, and they were like, "Oh well, we gotta kill this motherfucker." Lucifer 4.0
Jackie.
also met his demise by train. And by the time I lost Lucifer 5.0, I went, maybe I should stop naming the horses Lucifer.
I'm gonna say your name like a disappointed mother. Jackie.
Yes.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
He's got 5 giant big horses, and they're just like, yes, what happened to your predecessor will not happen to to you. And the horse is like, cool. What?
Like that episode of The Simpsons where Lisa keeps getting a cat and it keeps dying.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Look, if it makes you feel better. So basically what I'm saying is, when everybody else is like all sad because they lost the horse that they had from the beginning of the game. Yeah, I didn't get that. Because I'd already killed off 6 horses by the time I got to the end. So it was just like, it was like mildly inconvenient for me.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh no. Yes.
What's the other one? Nicola?
Hmm?
You said there was another one, and we're like, what's the other one? And then you just fall silent, and we're just waiting. And then,
Oh no!
Oh Lord, it's gonna be one of those. Okay.
I'm not on this planet today.
oh, so
Ah, I see Rob has the brain cell today.
yeah. Speaking of brain cells, for each of you, favorite character from Red Dead series and why?
I
Hmm.
mean, isn't it obvious?
Oh, I see you as a really big Bill Williamson fan.
Shut up, Catherine. Well, clearly it's Dodge. Sorry, Mick. Sorry, Mick. But Sean's my second favorite.
Are you pandering?
Yes. Yes, I am. So sue me. No, like I don't know. I had a moment at one point during one of my playthroughs. Like the funny thing is, I actually hated Dutch after the first playthrough. I hated him. I was that person that threw dynamite at him. Um, and I'm not even ashamed to admit that. So sue me, Ben Davis, if you're listening, come at me. But anyway, but yeah, I hated him. I hated Dutch. And then like at one point there was a little scene where he was talking to Hosea, and he quit the showman act, and I went, oh, that how it be. Oh, I get it now. And then he said something, and I went, oh crap, I'm Dutch. And from that point on, it was like he became my favorite. And like I've spent the better part of a year like trying to get into his head and psychoanalyze him, because that's what I do. It's not
Mm.
creepy, I promise.
She says.
Look, my dream job was to be a criminal profiler. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just it's job experience.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I would say my favorite character is Gavin, but I don't know who he is, but he's my favorite. No, but seriously, I think it would have to be Arthur. Obvious choice, but there's just something so oddly relatable about him. Besides him being, a wanted criminal, but I think there's obviously more to him than what people perceive him to be, what he perceives himself to be.
Mm.
I the way I describe him as a rough diamond.
Yeah.
That's how I describe Arthur. And then an additional favorite, because it's hard to pick because all the characters are awesome. Charles. I love Charles Smith. Nasir Dalal was amazing in the role. I mean, that guy's like everywhere in terms of like motion capture. I'm pretty sure I heard his voice in Spider-Man because I've just started playing Spider-Man.
Mm.
But no, Charles is he's just got this really quiet inner strength about him, and he's an absolute unit of a man.
Mm.
And,
He's definitely
you can take it out no bother, but at the same time, he's got like a really deep soul. You can tell that the guy's had his own personal traumas, but he doesn't let it override him as a
Mm.
person. So yeah, they're
with
my favorites.
with Charles. It's like he he is definitely the calm in the chaos. Even when he's angry, even when he's upset, it's a very calm kind of angry. And to me, that's almost scarier than the
Yeah,
raw anger,
that's
because you
that's
can't
always
you can't predict calm anger.
yeah. They're always the worst type of people to come across is the people that don't get angry, but when they do, that you've
Mm-hmm.
messed up. I like to think myself has been a bit like that, but
I tend to be
yeah.
pure chaos and rage, so.
For me, yeah, all the characters are really well written, and I liked all of them. I liked Charles and Hosea and Arthur, Tilly, and um just Kieran with his soft horse girl energy, Arthur with his big girl horse energy. But yeah, all of the characters are really well written. The ones that I really like the most, of course, are Tilly and Charles and Arthur and Lenny and Hosea. Um,
Just to name a few.
just to name a few. I can't really choose. Like, it's when someone asks me, "What's your favorite movie?" I'd list off like 20, and they're just like, "I asked for one." I was just like getting 20 because I can't choose. And so, yeah, it's one of those things where you're just, you see yourself in these characters. With the way that they're written, you not necessarily, like Nicholas said, you see yourself in the criminal aspect of it, but you see yourself in the way that they interact with the rest of the camp, the people that they've been around for years. There's a comfortableness in it where they're more open. They are more open to laughing or joking, as opposed to when they're out of camp. Maybe not so much, but it's just I just like the way that each character interacted, and the way that they spoke to each other, and the nuances of the way that they, like their body language is the word that I'm looking for. The way that their bodies moved when they were with somebody that they liked, or when they were with somebody that they disliked. You can tell where it's like the stiffening of a shoulder, or just kind of just like they lean away,
Hmm.
you know. So I just liked each one of them. I think that, you know, I can't really pin down uh like who I like the most.
Yeah, I agree. It's like each one, like each character, um, has their own, like it really is almost kind of like a game award. This person is the best villain. This person is the best, and it's they all did such a good job. Like
Yeah.
just the amount of like facial expression, and because like obviously it is them, like in that moment that was their facial expression, that was their thing, and so they did such a phenomenal job bringing all these characters to life that it really is hard to kind of pick which one's your favorite. But obviously, Sean,
Yeah.
obviously,
Obviously, yes. Out of all of those, Sean is number one. He doesn't even rank. He's number one.
exactly.
Automatically. He's got a little crown, and he's sitting there, and he's just like, I'm number one.
Yeah, spoiler alert, after what happened to Sean, I like wore a black armband out of mourning, so
Oh. All right, so our next question is from Cornell. Do you all plan to meet and gather around an actual campfire one day?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. The
Fun-
question is, do we know how to make a campfire?
yes,
I do. Yes.
we got you, fam. Don't worry.
Funny story is, I actually was going to be in Louisiana this year. Not so much as I was going to move there, no, but like my family wanted to do like a family reunion with my cousins.
Hmm.
And so they were like, we want to go to Louisiana. My cousin wanted to go for Mardi Gras, or just to go. And then, maybe during the summer we would do like Disney or something like that with like all the kids and stuff. Um, because that's what we used to do before we got a little bit too spread out, is that we would all get together and we'd go to like Universal Studios or like SeaWorld or something like that in Orlando. And so they're like, yeah, we should go to Louisiana. And this was around the time that I was meeting you guys. So, but then, we had like plans, but then they were just like, I think it probably would be best not to do stuff when stuff started to lock down fully.
Mm-hmm.
It was of course around when I started meeting you guys, and then I was just like, Jackie, I was gonna be in your state. I was gonna be in it. I was gonna be in Louisiana.
Mardi Gras is in March, isn't it?
Uh,
Or
yeah, I think it's like March, beginning of March or so.
February.
because
Or
isn't it meant to be the beginning of Lent?
Yeah.
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 But you
So
have to understand, like, like Mardi Gras in New Orleans is a completely different entity. Mardi Gras in New Orleans like takes up like a whole month.
No,
yeah.
but
So they wanted to go for that entire, like the whole like not the whole month, but one of the weeks when it was like basically spring break when there was no work for everybody, no school. So everyone can enjoy themselves and, spend like a week or two just exploring like the city and things like that. So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna be in you.
oh,
Kinky.
But then it didn't. It fell through, and I was just like, oh well, I almost met one of my internet friends in real life.
We actually we kind of we jokingly talk about like if this podcast like takes off and we get if we get popular enough that we are a little bit more well known, we have actually talked about meeting up in real life and doing like some of the convention circuits and stuff like that because like online podcasts and whatnot, once they get a pretty good following, a lot of the times they can get into like have booths and stuff at like PAX
Yeah,
East and like some of the Twitch cons and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, we could do that. That would be cool.
we could.
I'll even just like go to the conventions and like make a vlog or something.
hmm
Yeah,
And yeah, so we have extensively talked about meeting up in real life.
Yeah. If anything, I'd be coming stateside because I need a vacation. I've been
again,
abroad in like 9 years.
yeah. So definitely, whenever things have calmed down a little bit and it's more easier, then we can all go and meet together and do something fun.
Mm.
The next question is from Hannah, is what are your favorite video game series aside from Red Dead?
Mm.
Mm.
I have a couple. Metal Gear Solid series,
Mm.
uh, Legend of Zelda series, Dragon Age, Mass Effect. What else? KOTOR. There's only two. The KOTOR, which is Knights of the Old Republic. Um, what else? I had like a huge like list. Well, those are Saints Row,
Yep.
Resident Evil, and
Mm.
Silent Hill. That's it.
I think for me it would be I love The Sims. Um, it's mad to think that game's like 20 years old now. Um,
Shh,
but
we don't talk about that.
that was essentially the first game that I saved up pocket money for. It was The Sims 1 on PS2. This was going back to 2002, 2003, thereabouts. Um, but yeah, I remember how I first came across it was I just happened across it by chance at the a local video store back when those were a thing.
Mm.
Um, so I rented it out for like a few days, and it was just like, in my mind, being a kid, I didn't see all the the inside jokes that the older Sims series had because they were quite risky with some of their references and that, and I never realized that it was technically a 15 plus game up until I tried to buy it at the local supermarket and they wouldn't let me. But yeah, like in my mind, it was just like a virtual doll's house, and I just loved it. Like make your character, try not to burn the house down, type of thing. But it inevitably happened because, yeah, I've got to say, you've not properly played The Sims unless you've either accidentally killed your sim or deliberately killed your sim. But
Sure.
yeah, I think that, and I like the Life is Strange games. Controversially, I liked The Last of Us Part Two. Yeah, don't get me wrong, art's subjective and video games are art. So yeah, there was things that could have been, ironed out a bit more and extended a bit, but yeah, what we got was a good product, and Naughty Dog really done themselves proud with that, and put a lot of work into that, and kudos to the cast because the performances were just incredible, especially from Ashley Johnson. Um, so yeah, can't really think of anything else.
I think
Okay.
I'm working on it. Let's see. Mine is I loved the Dead Island series. I love Dying Light. Um, so basically, I like to pick I like to pick games that will never have a, a second game apparently because we've been waiting for Dead Island 2 for like I don't even want to think about that because it's a really long time. Same thing with Dying Light. Um, I love Saints Row. Hang on, I have to knock a cat off of my laptop. No. The joys of cats. But and I loved the first Dishonored. That was like my game there for a while. Was the very first Dishonored, and then Castlevania: Curse of Darkness. I'm sure anyone that follows me on Twitter has heard me talk about that one significantly. I loved Curse of Darkness so much. To me, that's one of the more underrated Castlevania games ever. Um, and yeah, I know when I'm editing this, I'm gonna think of like 10 more and be like, oh man, I didn't mention those. But right now, my brain's just like, the monkey with the cymbals and like it claps and it's all like ting ting ting. That's what's going on
Yeah.
in my head right now.
Yeah. Um, Hannah has another question. She wants to know if you could each recommend a book, what would it be? Doesn't have to be your favorite, just something you think people should read, give a read. So, um, I have a few, but I'm just gonna say one. The Silver Kiss by Annette Curtis Klaus. It's a young adult novel from like I want to say it's like the 90s, the mid 90s to early 2000s. I read it probably when I wasn't supposed to read it because I'm young for it, for its demographic, which is supposed to be like 14 and up. So I think I was like 9 or 10. It's fine. It was fine. I read a bunch of stuff that I probably shouldn't have as a kid. But yeah, it's a vampire novel. It's a romance vampire novel that I just kind of fell in love with, and I think it inspired my writing and things like that because I have the synopsis I can give you real quick. The synopsis for this is Zoe is wary when, in the dead of night, the beautiful yet frightening Simon comes to her house. Simon seems to understand the pain of loneliness and death and Zoe's brooding thoughts of her dying mother. And Simon is one of the undead, a vampire seeking revenge for the gruesome death of his mother 300 years before. Does Simon dare ask Zoe to help free him from this lifeless chase and its insufferable loneliness? And I was like, I'm sure I'll give it a read. So, The Silver Kiss by Annette Curtis Klaus. If you're into like young adult novels and like vampire type stories, I swear this is not like Twilight. It's not like Twilight. I will preface it like that. It's not like Twilight and it's not like Interview with the Vampire or any of the other vampire stories. It's a little bit different.
I think, let's see, whenever I'm asked this question, I do always pick my favorite. So my favorite book of all times is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. It is the story of a man named Shadow who when you start the book, his life is just and falling apart. He reached the lowest point. Like, you start off the book with him at his lowest point, and then somehow he manages to get lower. But he gets sucked into this world of like the battle between the old gods that made their way to America and the new gods of technology. And it's really funny when you read that book and then you kind of sit back and you look at the way the world is now. It's like you kind of have to sit there and wonder, is that book real? Did Neil Gaiman just predict things? Like, but yeah, it's a really, really good book. Like, it is a little bit hard to read, especially if you get one of the if you get the 10th anniversary one, because the original one had over 10,000 words taken out of it. The 10th anniversary, on the other hand, he put all of that back. So the beginning part is really, really hard to, or it can be a little difficult to read. But once it picks up, hold on tight, because it's just going to drag you in and like you are just stuck. And then you're going to finish reading and you're going to go, whoa. Whoa. Like, I just remember sitting there and I had really bad book hangover, which for those of you that don't know what a book hangover is, it's when you read something really, really good and then it's like, all right, now I need to find something else to read. Oh, but I don't want to. I'm
Yeah.
not done yet. I haven't finished processing the other one yet. So yeah, that one's my favorite book of all times, because I sat there afterwards when I closed it. Well, I say closed it, but it was an ebook, so I just kind of set my tablet down and I was just like, whoa.
I think for me, it would have to be, well, it's not a book, it's a series of books, and it's called The Edge Chronicles by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddell. Uh, I think it's a really underrated series. And it came out originally, like the first books came out fairly, we could say it was an awkward time because it came out at the same period as Harry Potter. So that's obviously Harry Potter got elevated, and anything else that was in the fantasy genre kind of got left behind in a way. But the story in the universe is just so well done. You just get so caught up in it, and the illustrations by Chris Riddell. I love his illustrations and his own particular style. I could recognize, like if I see another illustration, I know that's him because it's so unique. I mean, I highly recommend those series to anybody. It's technically the demographic for that is like older children and young adults, really. But I'm going to say two words that could potentially sell it to people. Sky Pirates. Sky Pirates. That's what sold me. I recommend it to you, Catherine, and I recommend it to you, Jackie, and to the listeners. Check out the Edge Chronicles. You'll find them on Audible. I know they're on Audible, but to get the full feeling, read the physical book, because with the audiobooks you don't get the addition of Chris Riddell's illustrations, and the illustrations are just, I love them so much. They're so cool. They're such good books. I've not read them in a while. I found out that there was actually an additional 2, 3, I think. I had no idea because I thought I got the full set, but then they added more, and I think, oh well, I'll have to read them all again and then catch up, because I can't leave it empty. It would feel wrong.
Yeah. Our next question is, what is your favorite pie? Both savory and sweet versions, and can you make it? And if you can't, will you learn to do so by the end of October? I like pecan pie and oh geez. I think I said apple pie. I mean, both are kind of savory, but
Yeah, you
pumpkin.
guys in the States don't really do savory pies, do you?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, well, some pies are kind of savory. I mean, it's I think she's talking about dessert though. So if she's talking about
I think it's both. If I happen to know this person well enough, I think it's both. So
oh
it's like a shepherd's pie type situation.
oh okay yeah. So then pecan pie and chicken pot pie. I know how to make both.
Mm.
Well, I don't know how to make pie, but I would say sweet version it would have to be obviously old school apple pie, and for
Mm.
savoury, steak pie, because that's kind of a staple essentially over here on New Year's Day, as you have steak pie and veg, you know, and anytime somebody says, "Oh, I don't really like steak pie," I think, what's wrong with you?
Let's see. Mine would be, let's see, my mom makes this really, really good homemade chocolate pie, and sometimes she just uses like it's technically pudding, but you can put it into a pie. And yes, I can make it. However, you have to be really you have to be really careful with it because it has eggs in it, and if you're if you're not careful with the way you make it, you may end up with scrambled eggs at the bottom. But honestly, I don't mind because then it just becomes a breakfast food. So you can have chocolate pudding for breakfast because it has scrambled eggs in it. So there you go. As far as savory, I would have to say uh, chicken pot pie or the Marie Callender's the beef pot pies. Those are really, really good. Like for the record, like as far as frozen meals go, like it's really good. So no, I can't make that one, but I can make because I've never had the pastries to make a chicken pot pie, so I kind of changed it and made a chicken pot pie soup. So I can do that.
Our next question is, what are your cheese preferences?
So people were hungry when they were asking us questions.
Yes, cheddar, baby. Yeah, cheddar. Nicola,
I like brie.
Jackie.
Brie cheese.
I don't know if I've ever had brie. No, like I really don't.
It's very soft. It's really good, but I prefer cheddar.
Soft boy cheese.
Soft boy cheese.
I like blue cheese as well.
Um, I like, I like, I like queso blanco from the Mexican restaurant. I'll be completely honest, like that's my favorite.
Okay. It's I don't remember. I'm trying to remember. It's I'll have to find you the name. It's a specific type of cheese,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but my partner's mom buys it all the time and she makes it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know it's actually not because I was looking at a recipe at one point, so I know what type like or what you need to do to make it. And I know like in actuality, it's not terribly hard to make this particular cheese, which is one of the reasons why it's so um it's so easily spread through all the Tex-Mex restaurants.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's really you can find it most anywhere. But
Mm-hmm.
another cheese that I like is goat cheese with a little bit of honey. Goat cheese with a little bit of honey, or like goat cheese with a little bit of oil, olive oil mixed in, and like some basil, and it's like delicious. Um, our next question is also from Janie. Can someone play someone else's vocal cords like a cello? I believe that this is a question for Jackie.
Yeah, I don't understand that reference. Could you explain?
You can make any part of the body can become an instrument if you try hard enough.
Okay, look. So this is actually an inside joke between the two of us, sort of. But it was one of the first questions that got asked, and I just went, "Oh my God, did you really?" Now I'm gonna have to answer this like on our. Oh, okay, whatever. So it is a Hannibal reference because one of the serial killers Like, because if you've never seen Hannibal, first of all, please be over 18, and have a strong stomach
Yeah,
for
just have a strong stomach for it.
Hannibal's sake. Have a strong stomach because he might use it one day. But there's a scene where the serial killer is standing on a stage, and he has inserted the fretboard of a. Hang on, sorry. Anyway, he has inserted the fretboard of a cello into a person's throat, and he's like playing the person's vocal cords. Like the vocal cords are completely exposed, and he's just like, nah, 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 nah. And yeah, I can't remember which one of us, but one of us freaked out. Can you actually play someone's vocal cords? So I had it. The original plan was I was going to research and then give you a really, really nerdy answer, either proving or disproving the ability to play someone's vocal cords. But I didn't have the time, so I'm sorry.
It's a very
So
questionable thing to put into the Google search engine, though, isn't it?
it's a little weird. I'm a little scared as to what things would pop up, so I'm good. I'm good. I've been on the dark side of the internet
Like
many, many
tips to the
times.
dark web or something.
Yeah, the FBI will swoop in and go, "Why are you Googling this?" Like,
Like guys in SWAT suits busting through the window.
bam! There's been suspicious activity. I was just Googling because of Hannibal. I'm sorry. But yeah, so there's your answer. Probably, and how dare you. Anyway.
Our last question is from Joanna. What are each of your Myers-Briggs personality types, and do you agree with it for yourself, or do you prefer a different personality test, and why? Um, I fall into two. I switch back and forth. Um, on the Myers-Briggs, it's called like the advocate and the architect, and that's the architect is INTJ and the advocate is INTS, I believe. Um,
No.
or INST, something like that. I'd have to look it up. Oh, IS. No, not the defender.
I'm working on it.
No, I'm looking it up as well because I had it written down. And I was just like, I know what this is. Yeah, it's on that 16personalities.com website, and they'll give you like a list of like the personality types. Um, so yeah, I'm the architect, which is INTJ, and in the diplomats as well, the advocate, which is INFJ. Ah, okay, yes, INTJ and INFJ. I do agree a bit with it because the advocate is somebody who wants to fix the problem so then in the future nobody has that problem anymore. And I'm constantly thinking of ideas of how to help people and help them get to where they need to, be so that they don't have to worry. Like I had a bunch of like ideas for helping people that are homeless. Like if I had the money, I told my partner if I had the money, I would buy like a housing complex, one of those like, places and make it affordable housing for the homeless. And basically they would be able to live there and it would give them access to food and running water and heat and like air conditioning. And then um, you have like a area where it can help them get like um, job applications and things like that to find work. And if they have like mental illnesses or things like that, help from like therapists and welfare and stuff like that. And just eventually it gets to a point where they have enough money saved up, and then if they want to they can start paying like the rent on like their apartment, but it would be reduced rent. So it'd be like $100 or a little bit less. So then they still have all of this. They still can build up and save up money, and then eventually, once they have, enough that they feel like I think I can make this on my own, they can take that and they can go off into the world. So basically, like a home. And he was like, "That's a really good idea." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, it's a lot of money though. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't have that much money." And the other one is the architect, and yeah, it's both the diplomat and the a diplomat and a free and a thinker, logistics just kind of mixed together, where I have all these ideas and then I'm looking at it logistically, and then I'm also just like, but it would be fun. So yeah, I do agree with them. But I do think that it shouldn't be the end all be all to your personality, because I think that really at one point all of us are all of these at some point
Agreed.
when as we're growing up. So, but I do
Agreed.
that I got.
I completely agree with you. And in fact, when all of these were created, they were never meant to be like an absolute definition to a personality. It was more so it was supposed to be just kind of for fun, and it became like kind of like the horoscopes.
Yeah,
Like people began defining their entire existence by it, which I mean, I get it, because there are moments where like I'll read something and it's like, because I'm a Libra, so it's like, oh yeah, this is absolutely a Libra trait, and I'm like, hey, wait, I do that. But I think that's kind of the point of personalities, just in general, is you can kind of pick and choose which things you like, which things you don't. So yeah, you can agree with something and not have it rule you, basically.
yeah, it's kind of like um being those personality tests where people are like, well, I'm always the same thing, and I'm just like, well, that's great, but also that's kind of bad.
Yeah, because I remember like the first time I took it, many many years ago, I actually got INFP, but then I took it a couple months ago and I got INTP, and it's so weird because like if you think in terms of like the left brain right brain, like the mediators would be considered more right brain, which obviously all of that is debunked and bull by now, but like the diplomats would be more, because it's INFP is like the poetic altruistic people, yada yada yada, so that'd be more like a right brained, whereas INTP, which is the logician, would be very left brained. And I never thought of myself as being a left brain person, but I am to a degree, I suppose. Um, so I agree, but like as stated, like obviously it's not the absolute. And if you happen to feel something that falls into a different category, then it's like you don't have multiple personalities. You're not, all this stuff. Like you're just a human, and humans are complex.
Yeah.
That's true.
Nicola, what about you?
Well, I don't know about that test, but I know I'm just me. So
Good answer.
that's such a cop out answer, I know, but
Are there any of like those are there any of like those little tests, like the little personality test where it's just like, what mushroom are you?
I don't really tend to bother with personality tests. I mean, I know who I am, so I don't need essentially anything or anyone telling me otherwise. Because I, I'll admit I do struggle with my own you know personal confidence and that I have done for God years. But I am who I am, and I'm slowly but surely starting to learn that. Um, yeah, yeah, that's basically my answer. Don't have a Scooby, to say the least.
It's okay.
It's a good answer.
Yeah, you didn't even take the cowboy quiz I sent? You didn't even take that one?
No.
Busted.
Well, I'm gonna be living my dreams as a homesteader with a dashing cowboy that's, gonna come up and tell me their sad tale and be like, cool, awesome, you can stay here. This is Well, you are just wandering the waste on your sad horse.
You know what me and Hanker wanted?
Oh
Well,
my
Across
goodness.
another lone cowboy in the trail. Or
Let's be
cowgirl.
honest.
I
Let's
don't
be
know.
honest though. We're all so socially awkward that like if we did meet a lonesome cowboy on the trail, we'd just be like, "Hey, sup?" and fist bump him and walk away, and then it's like, "Wait, that may have been the love of my life. Damn it." Oh wait, no, that's me. Never
I
mind.
would be, I would basically be like what Arthur says if you can like praise people like that's a nice horse you got there. Thanks. That'd be me. That's me.
Socially awkward humans.
Yeah. Like howdy, ma'am. Don't rob me.
well, it's just for myself, I probably would have been like, hello, and then just, not said anything, just kept going, just kept walking. Unless they stopped me to ask a question, then I would stop, answer their question, and maybe talk a little bit, and then go, and then keep going.
Whilst in your head, you'd be going, "Oh no, he's home."
I actually probably wouldn't have registered that they were nice looking until I walked away, and they're like, "Oh, they look nice," and then I just kept going. So I'm just like, eh.
Or just be like me and then, have a guy who's obviously flirting with you and just reach across the counter, fist bump him, walk away, get 5 miles down the road and go, shit.
Yeah, I don't understand flirting at all. I don't.
I'm a natural flirt. I flirt, like, I'll flirt with anybody. I mean nothing by it. Like, it's a game to me. But, like, if someone actually shows interest in me, I've missed it. I've, I've, I just, shut up. I'm not here for your judgments.
And we didn't say anything. I
I
mean,
can
Good
hear
works
it.
for me.
I was gonna say that if usually what ends up happening is if somebody tells me that they like me, what has happened is I would just be like, really? Oh, okay. I've said that. Like I've actually said that my first boyfriend in high school, he said that he really liked me, and I was just like, oh, because I was surprised. I was just like, here I am over here thinking we're just friends, and you're over here thinking I can see myself going out with this girl for a good while, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, that's fine.
I remember being told at my old job that I had an admirer, and I'm thinking, me? But this is new.
Yeah, usually when people tell when people tell me they like me, I just go, "Why?"
Exactly. That's my reaction.
Well,
Yay
How do
for
you even
low
like me, let alone
self-esteem.
anybody else?
well, we've actually reached the end of all of our questions.
Mhm.
Look to make sure that we didn't miss any, and it doesn't look like we did, but if we did, we're so sorry. You can definitely just kind of like you can message us on around the campfire and send us your question, and we'll try to get to it on our next episode, or not even that, on the episode after. And I don't think we have any questions for anybody this week. Maybe we can pick one of these and see if anybody wants to answer.
Ooh.
I could
Yeah,
make a joke and say sign your soul on the dotted line, but
sign your soul on the dotted line. What's your cheese preference?
that would.
Joke's on you. I have no soul.
Neither do I. Well, neither do I.
No.
How would you think you don't have a soul, Jackie? I mean, I didn't steal it. I swear, I didn't steal it.
Well, no. Obviously. I don't know. I sold mine ages ago.
Yeah, I have a soul, but you guys don't. So
No,
it's very interesting.
nobody get that South Park reference?
We do.
Ah,
But no, it's a good reference. Yeah, we're really happy you guys left us some questions. We'll probably do another Ask Me Anything, maybe not soon, probably in a few months, a couple of months. And you guys can, when we'd have like a lot more people, and then in that case, it'd be like, oh, this would probably have to be like a two-parter.
And we couldn't spend 10 minutes on each question. Oops.
It's fine though, because, we care. So, that being
no
said,
food questions next time, though.
yeah, when this podcast episode's gonna air, it's gonna be officially spooky season. So it's gonna be October 1st. So
Spooky.
there's probably gonna be a little bit of change to some of the music on here. We're gonna try to camp it up in here with our spookiness. And if you guys like, we're going to post our Halloween themed picture that we're going to do with us in our little costumes.
Halloween is our jam.
Halloween costumes. And if anybody, I'm putting this out there because I'll do it if you guys want to. But if anybody wants me to draw them in like a Halloween costume, I will try my best and I will try to do it.
It's gonna
Like
be
our own
awesome.
little campfire Halloween party.
Yay!
We'll slowly post them as like the weeks go on. So hopefully it's not too many, and hopefully I can get to all of them. If not, then we'll just keep going in November. But that being said, I think that's it. I think we've made it.
We did, which is good because the cat just crawled between me and the microphone, so now I'm like having to project. So sorry.
It's okay. All right, but that's it. So we'll definitely see you guys. If there's any announcements, just look to our Facebook and our Twitter. And oh yeah, that's right. This Friday we're gonna try to stream. We're gonna try to stream Fall Guys. Me and Nicola on Friday. I have to tell her what time. So the schedule's gonna go up on Wednesday because we're recording on Tuesday. So the schedule's gonna go up on Wednesday once we have all of our ducks in a row.
Yay, ducks.
Whack.
Thank you for joining us around the campfire. We'd like to thank Brett Van Donsel for providing the music, and you can find more of him on his website at brettvanDonselmusic.com. You can find us on Twitter at CameoGang1899 and on YouTube at Around the Campfire Podcast. This is Catherine, riding off, and we'll see you around, Cowpoke.